curious, slightly hushed. Hidden within the layers of the fossil record are impossible physical artifacts that shatter our understanding of natural history. You expect to find hardened bone or compressed shell, but occasionally the Earth reveals a glitch. Take the jellyfish. It is a fragile, boneless organism made almost entirely of water, and under normal conditions, it decays in a matter of days. Preserving a jellyfish in solid stone requires the instantaneous flash freezing of an entire ecosystem, locking soft tissue in place before the first hint of deterioration. The chronology is equally broken. William Webster Jr. discovered a petrified human footprint in Utah, featuring the distinct stitched impression of a sandal sole. Directly beneath the heel of that print is a crushed trilobite, a marine creature that supposedly went extinct hundreds of millions of years before humans. Biological history holds similar errors.
Cro-Magnon humans appeared in the archaeological record completely abruptly. They possessed a cranial capacity that outstripped modern humans by 100 cubic centimeters, yet they have no transitional evolutionary ancestors. They arrived fully formed. Mainstream science routinely filters these anomalies out of the professional record. Acknowledging them would collapse the doctrine of uniformitarianism, the academic belief that the planet changes only through slow, uninterrupted geologic evolution. This 3D model identifies Earth as the holosphere, a programmed containment field governed by strict resets. Geologic strata operate as digital deletion logs. Every rock layer records a system-wide overwrite, petrifying the previous world to clear hardware for the next. The architects of this system were a race known as the Anunnaki. They originally arrived on Earth to extract resources, genetically engineering an early human workforce to supply manual labor. The problem was the genetic source material. By grafting Anunnaki DNA into terrestrial mammals, they created a vessel capable of hosting sentient, immortal spirits from outside the containment system. These souls represent an uncontainable variable. If humans realized their own nature, their collective consciousness could collapse the simulation's programming from the inside. Fearing this loss of control, the Anunnaki shifted Earth's orbit and locked the planet down. They designed a closed holospheric system to keep these spirits trapped within a cycle of physical amnesia. To monitor the surface, they placed a governor in the sky. The moon is completely disproportionate to its host planet, and its near-perfect circular path is physically improbable. It is a hollowed-out observation station, deliberately placed in a dead orbit. On the ground, the Great Pyramid of Giza anchors the system. Its dimensions encode the exact radius of the planet and the mathematical constants of the solar system. These precise geometric measurements allow it to function as the central axis of the holosphere, generating the physical and spatial dimensions of our perceived reality. When we look at the night sky or these ancient wonders, we're observing the physical hardware of a cosmic prison. A prison this complex requires automated software failsafes. These cataclysm protocols are designed to trigger whenever humanity advances far enough to threaten the containment. The simulation runs on a strict mathematical clock known as the Nur cycle. It forces history into a 600-year loop, with the clock hand sweeping forward to trigger specific events at fixed intervals. Whenever the hand hits a designated node, the system deploys its weapons. Simulated cosmic objects, labeled here as Phoenix and Nemesis X, intersect with Earth's orbit on a programmed schedule. The execution is devastating. The sky goes dark, the atmosphere collapses, and a thick, choking red dust rains from the heavens, rapidly burying advanced civilizations under millions of tons of mud. The great mythological disasters of antiquity, like the flood of 2239 BCE, map perfectly to these dates. They are scheduled server wipes to reboot human progress. Because the simulation runs on mathematical software, its behavior is predictable. If you decode the underlying math, the timing of the next reset becomes visible. This timeline charts a 62-date composite chronology. By reverse engineering the mathematics of the Great Pyramid and the Mayan long count calendar, 300 distinct historical events align into a rigid grid. As the timeline scrolls to its final entry, the variables converge on May 15, 2040. The prophecy for this date marks the return of the Phoenix Sky Dragon. The planet's crust will shift, plunging major cities under the sea and initiating a global blackout. It forces an uncomfortable question. Are we the masters of our own destiny?
or simply lines of code waiting for the next system wipe. The chronology does offer one final data point beyond the wipe: the year 2178, the date of total simulation collapse, when the quarantine finally breaks.